Nearly 1,800 people attended the February 13th Gala opening reception at Central Library as part of the 28th annual Meet the Artists exhibit, which features the works of prominent local African American artists. The gala featured a variety of cultural entertainment, as well as opportunities to learn about unique works of art.
This is called the Fireman. It was a piece designed, in a particular situation in my life where I felt like there was hell going on all around me. And sometimes you look around for friends to pull you out of the situation, but there was no one to pull you out at that time. And there was only one that I found, and that was my relationship with Christ, who was able to pull me from that hellish situation that I was in. So I decided to make that a reality through my art. And I just used the art to express that. I wasn't expecting so many things to take place from it, but after creating it, the sculpture just took on its own voice, and it just started speaking to so many different people, so it just took off from there.
I have been creating jewelry since about 2009, and this collection specifically entitled Tangle Roots. So I worked with a lot of natural elements, copper wire and stones, and the name came about because I wanted it to be kind of a socio-political statement, our current predicament in the country, tangled, confused, but still able to pull much beauty from it. So I have a lot of pieces that come from recyclables. I'm very big on sustainability issues, so I have recycled shells and pistachios. I'm very big on using what we have and not being wasteful, or as being as least wasteful as possible. So I always tell people that art is a bunny hole. You get started with one thing and it just easily trickles and becomes something else. And these are some of my first few works with collage. I've always had an interest in collage. Romeo Bearden, I love his work. So I'm very heavily moved to make messages and be expressive. I'm a huge advocate of self-expression as a form of therapy. So you kind of see my splatter paintings, very, very releaseful. So yeah.
This actually is a portrait of a dear friend of mine who passed away. She found me on Facebook. She thought I was somebody who I wasn't, and we got acquainted and we talked about my artwork and what she did as an artist. And she really wanted a piece done of herself. And me, I work a lot and I never got time to do a piece, and then she passed away and I felt bad. So I did a piece of her of how I felt she was feeling before she passed away and how I was feeling at the time. And it came out to be just one of my best pieces. This was a project back when I was a senior. Our senior project was to make a picture out of anything we wanted, but we couldn't use any traditional medium as far as paint, charcoal, pencil. So I used sand to represent the rough times that I was going through. Because at the time I had just got out of an accident. I got hit by a car and I was going into my senior year. I didn't know where I wanted to go, what direction. I was scared of being a starving artist. So the sand represented me as a person, and I hit the ground rolling.
Well, the two displays I got here is one is the Moxies and one is Saucy Two Shorts. Basically, I was going for a comic book theme. This here is more of a superhero group versus just the one solo. Just the art piece I was thinking about doing. It's an honor and a privilege to be a part of this. So I'm very grateful that I was allowed to show my art here, because it's more not Black History themed, but I figured just to have these figures here, and because I'm more look towards the future kind of guy. I loved history, but look towards the future, and hopefully we can get more things like this out in general publish and get them out there.
It's a little controversial because really I'm saying that God created the Big Bang. And sometimes you think about creativity and sometimes you think about science, and I think there's a lot of science and creativity and a lot of art and science. So I'm putting together, mixing up different medium, experimenting with heat and gravity and glass and copper wire.
This was called D, after me, but actually the actual yacht itself is owned by Andrei Melenchenko. He's a billionaire. So this one is actually modeled after his boat, and his is called the A. So since mine's a little smaller and a lot less expensive than his, I named it the D after myself. And then this one over here, the Majestic, is one that I modeled for myself and design. I just think when you're an artist, you have the ability to create anything, and that you just shouldn't be limited to one particular style of art or piece of art, and that you can accomplish or branch out into doing anything. So just from the artistic standpoint of how mega and super yachts are, I'm just totally fascinated by them, and that's my motivation for really wanting to do them.
I just put together various phrases over a period of a month or two that generally have a specific theme, be it historical, socio-political, or humanistic. Generally, they started out humanistic on the wall a little north of 38th Street in College 20-some years ago, but they've evolved with certain political, social overtones into something a little more poignant. I was asked to do the show because of the familiarity Tony was with the wall. And nobody knew I did that wall up north of 38th on College until my son Loban Hamilton told an interviewer that his dad did the wall. And then that was about 7 years ago. I'm generally not an artist who sells their work because I only do it for expression and to give people information. You know, sometimes these days people seem to take for granted, have forgotten certain beliefs, truths, so I sort of remind them of them every 6 months or so with a different expression on the wall. These were primarily done for historical context because it's Meet the Artist for Black History Month.
Understand, ladies and gentlemen, that this dress is all leather, embellished with diamonds. All the handbags are handcrafted and one-of-a-kind designs.
The Meet the Artist exhibit continues at Central Library through March 26th and is available for viewing during regular library hours.